Hello everyone and welcome to this video. Now today I'm going to be reviewing an album that was recommended to me by my great friend James Laubhan. This is the Moody Blues and Long Distance Voyager. Basically James recommended that I listen to this album because he thought that I would really like it. So I listened to it on Spotify and I really did. So I decided to buy the vinyl when I saw it in a record shop for quite a good price. James also recently done a video on the Moody Blues, their entire career, basically, just going through all the albums and showing his vinyl copies of each of them. That video really helped me put this album in perspective, with their other albums during their career. This was the band's 10th studio album, released on the 15th of May in 1981. So basically this was about 10 years after their critical peak. And this was quite a big comeback album actually, very commercially successful, a #1 album in America, and also reached #7 in the UK. It had 2 big American hit singles on it as well. So I'm just going to show you my vinyl copy of it. It's nothing too special here, my copy of it here, just a basic UK press in there. The cover itself, here's a little factoid here, it was painted by the Glasgow Arts Union, Glasgow being a city quite close to me actually, in Scotland, about half an hour away I think. And then here's the record here, just in plain sleeve here, not even an inner sleeve, it's just a plastic thing, and the record is just, yeah, you can see the label anyway, so that's it there. I don't think I showed the gatefold here, it's basically just lyrics and some album credits as well. So now I'm just going to go over all of the album songs, giving each song a score out of 10. So the first song up is called The Voice, and I'm giving this song actually a 10 out of 10, right from The Office. A very good song. Like the start, strange sort of progressive rock style, because they were after all a progressive rock band in their early days, but then it sort of develops more into a nice sort of acoustic, very commercial sounding though, but it's very polished, and I like that. I like songs that you can sense a lot of effort went into making them. This was the first single from the album, reached #15 in the US charts. Next one up is a song called Talking Out of Turn. Starts off strange with sort of strange synthesizer, a bit similar to the first one there, but then it's all develops into a nice sort of slower ballad. Lovely chorus on it as well, and great backing vocals. This was written by the bassist John Lodge. Most of the songs there were written by Justin Hayward, who was the main lead guitarist and singer. But this one they were written by John Lodge. It's a nice song. The only reason why I was marking it down a little bit is it's a very long song. It's about 7 minutes, and it doesn't really develop or change. It just sort of stays on the same sort of basic verse chorus structure, and it doesn't really deviate from that too much. Next track up is called Gemini Dream, and I'm giving this an 8 out of 10. This is a pretty decent song, quite easy, it's quite a fun track, but it's very sort of commercial sounding, and very typical of the 80s. Just in terms of the production, but it is very polished, and this is the first single from the album, reached #12 in America and #1 in Canada. Then we have this is the closer to side 1 now, song called In My World, and this is a nice song actually. Give this a 7 out of 10. I do really like this. It's it's a lovely sort of acoustic ballad for the first sort of 4 minutes, but then very much similar to Talking Out of Turn. Too long, far too long, about 7 minutes this song, and it just sort of goes on and on and on. Certainly if this song was about 4 minutes, then I'd be giving it at least a 9 or maybe even a 10 out of 10, but for me it just suffers because of the length of it. Coming up, side 2 is a song Meanwhile, giving this a 10 out of 10. Another cracking song, great sort of upbeat style song, fantastic production and instrumentation used on it. This could have been a big single actually. I think this would have been a wise choice for a follow-up single, because it is a really great song. Now for me, this is where the album kind of takes a bad turn. I mean, we've been riding high so far, pretty consistent, but then it just sort of goes really downhill. with the song 22,000 Days, a 4 out of 10 for me. The title of this one supposedly actually comes from the amount of days what like a person will live like during like the life, what I thought was like pretty interesting. This one was actually written by the drummer Graham Edge. The verse is like good enough, but it's just the chorus what is really bloody annoying, with all like these big sort of backing vocals, very sort of pompous, very sort of like extravagant sounding. It's not my cup of tea really. Like, I can understand like why people like this song. It's very dramatic, but like for me, it just doesn't do much for me. I find it just annoying for the most part. Next one up is called Nervous, and this is another one written by the bassist John Lodge. It's a very nice ballad. I do like the coda tradition here, like what closes the song. Really nice. Sounds a little bit similar to like ELO sort of like style songs. Like naturally, like I do kind of like it, but it's nothing special really.
I've shed a tear for the lying while every day trying.
And then closing the album, we get a suite of songs by the I'm not sure, like, it's Ray Thomas. I'm not sure like if he's like a guitarist or like like singer or like whoever, but like he like wrote like the last 3 tracks on this album. First up is called Painted Smile, and this for me would be the weakest on the album, giving it a 3 out of 10. It's not the best. It's kind of, these ones are sort of like for like a circus theme, sort of silly, and like it doesn't really do much for me. This is followed by like a very short track called Reflective Smile, which is just a little poem, very pointless. Not going to score that song, but it's just like a very pointless spoken word link between Painted Smile and like the last track. And like the last track is actually okay. It's called Veteran Cosmic Rocker. And this 6 out of 10, not very memorable though, like the core of the song, but like I do like the middle section. Like there's a bit of like a harmonica thing going on, kind of bluesy. I like the middle bit, but overall it's not a great song for me. So overall, this album would score 69% for me, which is okay. So the first side is actually very good. We've got like a couple of 10 out of 10 tracks. Few more sort of like slower ballads, but still like okay, maybe a little bit on like the lengthy side. But then for me, like by like the time you get to like the second side, it sort of like loses focus, and like it becomes a very sort of pretentious album, very like overblown production. But like I'd certainly say, like I mean, like the highlights on here, stuff like The Voice and Meanwhile and In My World, Gemini Dreams, they're all pretty good songs. So like I would definitely be interested in like getting like some of like the earlier, more like acclaimed albums. Like this album here like is James Laubhan's favourite, and like I can somewhat understand why, but for me personally, like I'd be more interested in like looking into some like the more earlier albums, stuff like Days of Future Past and I forgot like what some of the other titles were. Or Children's Children. I think that's one of them as well. And there's a couple of other ones that I'm interested in getting. So if you have enjoyed this review, please leave your thoughts on this album down below in the comments, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.